I want to start out by sharing about a 2-minute video. And this is gives you some insight to what we're seeing changing in a manufacturing environment and around the supply chain area. So with that, I'm going to hit play. Hopefully everybody can hear this.
One of the top manufacturers of butter in the country. Grassland Dairy uses a wireless network custom built by Extreme Networks.
Try and increase the volume if you can, Chris.
Yes.
Chris, we can't see anything because you're not sharing your screen.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Area of Grassland Dairy.
Well, let's do this. Let's make sure we're sharing the screen. All right. Let's try this again. Thank you.
Grassland Dairy, one of the top
How's that?
manufacturers of butter in the country.
Yep.
Grassland Dairy uses a wireless network custom built by Extreme Networks, and we're about to get an exclusive tour inside. We are standing outside the intake area of Grassland Dairy. You can see all these tanks behind me. They're filled with raw milk and cream. Extreme access points were strategically installed to optimize network strength. Let's go inside and check it out. Manufacturers are developing new ways to connect to their plant and business operations. Grassland Dairy uses a series of extreme switches across their campus that are connected via fiber optic cables. As you can see, it's a pretty challenging environment to be able to get a wireless signal through all of the metal and piping that they have going on throughout the facility. The engineers at Extreme Networks were able to figure out a way to make sure that they have successful connectivity throughout the entire facility. Once the butter is packaged, it's then put on this conveyor belt, which you see behind me. It's then stacked onto pallets and it's ready to be shipped. All of Grassland's forklifts are equipped with a tablet that wirelessly connects them to the network so that they can seamlessly keep track of all inventory.
Well, fantastic. I'm going to stop sharing for a second, and I'm now going to share my PowerPoint and a little bit of insight of what's going on today around Wi-Fi 6E and what we're seeing today in the industry. Here we go. We'll share screen, and there we go. Can everybody see my PowerPoint?
Yeah, it looks good. You can just put it on presentation mode, but we can still see most of it there.
There we go. So first off, we're seeing a lot of changes today in our applications. Say business critical applications are driving our supply chain differently. We are demanding more from our network, and we've heard from several of the speakers around security, around vulnerabilities, and how do you address that. But we find that when you get back to the business applications, our challenges are, how do I make my business perform better? Can I be responsive to the network changes that are being demanded today? Am I secure? That's a huge one today. And what I like to talk about is mean time to innocence. Have you ever had somebody call you up and say, darn it, I was in the conference room or I was out in the warehouse and the network stunk last week? Well, they don't show up that hour. They show up a few days later to tell you that something's not there today. It's not giving what they want. And what we're doing is we're leveraging technology today around Wi-Fi and Wi-Fi 6E to really increase mobility and to deliver analytics to get to what I call mean time to innocence. Is the network responsible for the issue? Is it the end user device? Or is it your application? And we at Extreme do a very, very clean job of delivering that quickly, efficiently, cost effectively. And what's interesting is your clients are changing today in supply chain. What we're finding today is whether I'm in a warehouse or I'm delivering product automated on a plant floor or maybe even a sea container environment, what we're finding today is, did you architect your Wi-Fi correctly? Think about that. In the past, we said, okay, we're going to cover a region. Maybe it's a warehouse. Maybe it's a manufacturing plant. But today's challenges are, what about that 6 inches above the floor? The moment I put a big piece of steel or something on top of the automated pallet, I lose RF. So how do I address that? How do I ensure that the communication with devices are at 6 inches, or I'm covering 50 feet high ceilings in that? And you know what? Our RF needs are changing. We're going out in the plant, we're going out in the warehouse, and we're doing automation with kiosks, portable systems to deliver that. And so what's kind of fun is we're seeing changes today, and customers like yourselves are just saying, hey, wait a minute, I haven't seen these demands, or I am starting to see these demands. And the other part that we're seeing is in Wi-Fi 6E. Wi-Fi 6E has challenges today around power requirements and antenna rules. Did you know that Wi-Fi 6E, when you go to an external antenna, is going to be required to be connected to the FCC, and that you have to license that spectrum? So we're seeing some changes because of how the RF properties are there. And are we creating something that is designed for IP67 so that we can handle extreme temperature ranges, whether it's in a warehouse, whether it's in a freezer facility, whether it's that? We have a lot of different needs. And also, as we automate our warehouses, can I cover both the directionality that I need? Am I getting the RF energy, and I love that word, energy, down to where the user's running the forklift, who's picking product or delivering product that's going to be processed? And today we look at a tremendous amount of changes in the standards today around not only the enclosures, but also around the bands and the number of capable bands that now can be isolated so that I can maintain excellent connectivity, but also deliver high bandwidth applications. And we look at the applications today that we use with RF today. Everybody's carrying a tablet. No longer are we tethered to our desk. We have a Chromebook, or we have a tablet, or we're even using our cell phone today to communicate, whether I'm looking at an engineering application, whether I'm doing a Zoom meeting like today. We are changing how these applications are putting demands. But I got to be honest with you, not only are the demands changing, but it's the security. So I love sharing this slide, and this might be something you have heard about or not. IoT was not really thought about in security. Let's get a low-cost solution. Can I get the tablet? Can I get a screen? Can I get a tooling machine or some type of cutting machine connected to my network? But these IoT devices, whether it's the Coke machine or a Bridgeport milling machine, they didn't think about security initially. So here's an example. Criminals hack through a fish tank. The fish tank is a large fish tank, but in an environment, think about this. Somebody attached to your network a device so they could monitor water flow and temperature. Doesn't that sound like manufacturing? If I'm monitoring water flow and temperature and things like that, are you securing that device? Well, here was a prime example. Somebody came in through the fish tank and attacked the network. How are you securing your IoT devices on the manufacturing floor is just as important. So at Extreme, we start to think about, how do we certify? How do we provide peace of mind to a client? Well, we've done some unique things. We went out and certified. Now, when you talk to all the manufacturers out there, you'll hear about ISO certification 27001. Well, that's around the management of information systems. We did it a little differently at Extreme. We looked at the device, the access point, the switch port, and certified the entire process to the cloud and back to your console. Different than other manufacturers who are sitting there just looking at a particular environment. And they're saying, okay, my data center is certified. Well, that's not good enough. You need to look at your entire communication data process. And also in cloud operations, we went beyond the industry. We went to 27701 01 and 2717 around privacy and operations to go ahead and deliver peace of mind to a customer to say, hey, we went through that additional requirement around security to deliver that. But then we also met SOC 2 compliancy, and now SOC 3 compliancy, and Star Alliance compliancy. All this means is that we've invested heavily in the technology around ensuring that the applications that are monitoring and managing and solving your business issues that are secure. And we compared it against a lot of other manufacturers, and guess what? You do your own math, but I'll just share with you, we think we're leading, and we're being told by Gartner and other people that we're leading in this area. So, as you look at today's networks in Wi-Fi and in mobility, what's running on my network? Are you looking at visible devices? How good is your user experience? That's probably more important than ever. Can I automate? Can I enhance security? And these are the areas that Extreme is spending a lot of time with customers and sharing some of the solutions that we deliver. One of the areas that we've done is we let customers choose. So when you look at Wi-Fi 6E and mobility, we built an application to manage that aligns to how you want to go to the cloud, and that whether you want to be a private cloud, a public cloud, or put it locally on premise, it's the same application, making it easy to manage. And if you do to go to the cloud, choose the cloud you want to go. Do you want to go to AWS? Do you want to go to Azure? Do you want to go to GCP? We're the only company out there right now in the infrastructure for Wi-Fi 6E and networking that gives you that choice. Everybody else puts you in their cloud. Well, we want you to choose, and by the way, you can move in about an hour's time frame to 2 hours time frame from one cloud to the other based upon your business requirements. Whether you want to do this with a network, our applications and security, or wireless. And we're tying that together with a lot of different technologies that come together, and we call this Cloud IQ Pilot. You're the pilot of the environment. You're flying it. And so we call that Extreme Networks Cloud IQ. And Cloud IQ is the application around Wi-Fi 6E that gives me visibility on the applications, the users, graphically represents your environment, makes it easier for your IT teams to manage the infrastructure. But when you start looking at Wi-Fi 6E, this is a game changer. We're getting 57 new additional channels out there that give us better capabilities so that we don't have co-channel interference, that when an application connects, I can get the most amount of throughput. And we've made a fleet of different APs that are not only shipping in Wi-Fi 6, but 6E. We started shipping last summer in August of 2021. We were the first in the industry to actually start delivering. All that means is that we've got different capabilities with different access points to deliver that technology that you want. But we're tying that together with machine learning and analytics, giving you visibility to infrastructure so that when you look at that, how is your environment running and how does it continue to run and how do I manage it? So we're doing something unique. We have petabytes every 24 hours of telemetry information we capture. What we're doing is looking and aligning that information and organizing that, and then turning our machine learning and analytics toward that to give you knowledge. And when we apply knowledge, that gives your team intelligence to resolve or return mean time to innocence. The ability to say, that wasn't the network's fine. It's the application. Or maybe it's the end user device. So we're doing billions of management events in the background, helping your teams manage that. So we came out with a tool called Cloud IQ Copilot. Imagine flying an airplane. Would you fly an airplane without a copilot? Probably not. But what we're doing is we're using the analytics and the engine out there to give you insights. It reduces risk. It solves and tells you in English what is going on and why. Now, it's in its infancy. We've had it out for about a year today. And Cloud IQ Pilot gives you that visibility. It gives you and reduces alarm fatigue. So if something goes off, why did it go off? It gives you explainable insights that allow you to understand what is going on in real time, proactively reducing the amount of time that it takes to resolve an issue. Wi-Fi 6E is giving us that ability to have the bandwidth, to have more channels, to have better capabilities. We're now getting to the speed of almost over a gig in Ethernet speed that we used to only get from a piece of wire when I'd connect the Ethernet cable. Today, with the channelization, today how I set up my wireless can give me incredible performance that we've never seen before. And by the way, Wi-Fi 7's around the corner. But that's still several years out, 2 or 3. Our Wi-Fi 6E, though, is coming out today, and Copilot helps us give us visibility and reduces that risk, giving you proactive, explainable machine learning and analytics that says, here's what's happening. This is a minor issue or a major issue, and helping your team address that. So what is Extreme doing today? We're helping customers go out and validate security. We're giving you better visibility out there. Wi-Fi 6E gives us performance, but our mobility area is really tied to the application. Hey, everybody's got an access point. There's tons of manufacturers who produce them. What we do differently is give you the tool to leverage that more efficiently through Copilot and Pilot. These are standard in our base product, and it leverages that insight for you. It's affordable, easy to use, very secure with our ISO certifications on that, and it's flexible. It changes as your environment runs out there in today's environments. And so as we look at this, we even have availability. We're leading in certain areas as much as 4 to 6 months sooner than some of our other competitors, but we're still looking at 6, 7, 8, 9-month lead times today with some of the logistics issues that you've been hearing about in the industry. Give me a call about that. I can share some insights in that. So as we look at Wi-Fi 6E, 6E is going to give you performance. It's going to give you availability. It's going to give you flexibility with more channelization, less interference. And that means that your engineering teams, your supply chain teams, your management teams have the tool to deliver not only their business decisions, but keep the business running efficiently over time. So at Extreme Networks, we're having a lot of fun. We're delivering quite a bit out there. We're having an exciting time around Wi-Fi and Wi-Fi 6E. And if you'd like to dive more into that, we run a flight school. So this is great. Tell your IT teams that we run a flight school to teach and show the technology to your engineers. It's a couple of hours. You can sign into our flight school, and I'll make an offer to anybody. If anybody'd like to attend, it's free of charge. We'd love to have you come and learn about what we do differently at Extreme. With that, I'll turn it back to you. Any questions?